Good morning, St. Joan of Arc family. Good morning. Give yourselves a hand. Breathing in this wonderful, brisk weather. Just another regular, ordinary day in Minnesota, right? A very special day indeed. So glad to see you all. So glad to be here among others who ain't gonna let nobody turn you around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Gonna keep on, yes, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. We're gonna work for justice every day, every day, every day. We gotta work for justice every day. We're gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land.
My friends, this season finds us a rather bewildered human race. We are here today because we are tired. We are tired of being seared in the flames of withering injustice. We have neither peace within nor peace without. Everywhere, paralyzing fears harrow people by day and haunt them by night. Our world is sick with war. Everywhere we turn, we see its ominous possibilities. Due to my own involvement in the struggle for the freedom of my people, I have known very few quiet days in the last few years. I have been arrested 5 times and put in Alabama jails. My home has been bombed twice. A day seldom passes that my family and I are not the recipients of threats of death. I have been the victim of a near-fatal stabbing. So in a real sense, I have been battered by the storms of persecution. I must admit that at times I have felt that I could no longer bear this burden, and that I have been tempted to retreat to a more quiet and serene life. But every time such a temptation appeared, something came to strengthen and sustain my determination. I have learned now that the burden of Christ is light precisely when we take his yoke upon us. The suffering through which I have passed over the last few years has drawn me closer to my Lord. More than ever, I am convinced of the reality of a personal God.
Dr. Barbara Holmes writes, "In each generation we are tested. Will we love our neighbors as ourselves, or will we measure our responsibilities to one another in accordance with whomever we deem to be in or out of our social circles?"
There was a time when the church was very powerful. Whenever the early Christians entered a town, the people in power became disturbed and immediately sought to convict the Christians for being disturbers of the peace and outside agitators. Things are different now. Far from being disturbed by the presence of the church, the power structure of the average community is consoled by the church's sanction of how things are. So often the church is the arch defender of the status quo. At first, I was rather disappointed that Fellow clergymen would see my efforts as those of an extremist. But as I continued to think about the matter, I gradually gained a measure of satisfaction from the label. Was not Jesus an extremist for love? We must be as maladjusted as Jesus, who dared to dream a dream of the parenthood of God and the unity of men. The church must help center our lives, our minds, and our visions in the will and purposes of God and the unity of men. The church must help us center our lives, our minds, and our visions in the will and purposes of God. Our love for God will cast out fear. And the church must be increasingly active in social action outside itself. People hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they are separated from each other. We have a glorious opportunity to inject a new dimension of love into the veins of our civilization. The end is reconciliation. The end is redemption. The end is the creation of the beloved community.
Dr. Barbara Holmes asks, what if those are unexpected moments of crisis? Those critical events that place an entire community at risk. How do we survive together? How do we resist together? How do we respond to unspeakable brutality and the collective oppression of our neighbors? We have to figure out who we are, how we're going to show up, and how we are going to work together in a communal response to crisis.
No individual can live alone. No nation can live alone. All life is interrelated. We are all caught up in an inescapable net of mutuality, tied into a single garment of destiny. Now the judgment of God is upon us, and we must either learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or we are all going to perish together as fools.
Today, our scripture reminds us that each of us, every member of the human family, manifests the gifts of the Spirit as given to us by God. Our gifts are different, but the Spirit is the same. And the love of our God will call out what we and only we can give to the healing of the world. While we marvel this morning at the powerful gifts of Dr. King, we must not let our own gifts remain unopened, uncelebrated, and unlived.
My name is Jeff Jones, and I'm a performing arts professional with many avenues in my journey. I was born and raised in Chicago, South Side, and was a longtime member of the Sounds of Blackness, the Grammy Award-winning music ensemble. I perform in jazz festivals in the studio with other recording artists, as a voice actor in animated films, and as an actor. In addition, I am a parent, a marketing consultant, and I serve as board chair for the Bridge for Youth. The Bridge for Youth empowers young people experiencing homelessness through safe shelter, basic needs, and healthy relationships. And we center youth voice in all that we do. I'm blessed to join you for the first time in many, many years this morning. Together, we're generating a good energy on a level that can only be described as spiritual. Today, as I reflect on the mission and message of Dr. King, I want to make sure my time spent on this earth has meaning and helps others in some way. Music with a message is the vehicle that I choose most, often because it unifies, informs, inspires, and touches the soul in a special way when used as a tool for powerful change in the world.
May all of us be challenged this morning to let the Spirit call forth our gifts, and may our gifts transform this world and bring light to the darkness. We close this morning with the words of our beloved Dr. King.
I say to you this morning, my friends, rise up and keep faith in the future. Let us realize that as we struggle for justice and righteousness, we do not struggle alone. God struggles with us. And God is working every day. God is working through history for the establishment of the kingdom. Remember, if I am stopped, this movement will not stop because God is with this movement. Let us not despair. Let us realize that as we struggle for justice and freedom, we have cosmic companionship. Go home with this glorious faith and radiant assurance. No lie can live forever. I refuse to accept the fact that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace can never become a reality. I believe that wounded justice, lying prostrate on the blood-flowing streets of our nation, can be lifted from this dust of shame to reign supreme upon children of God. I have the audacity to believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word. I have the audacity to believe that we shall overcome. I still believe that we shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. Love will make us free. Love will make us free. Love will make us free someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe love will make us free someday.